If you could give a single girl
Yeah.
some dating advice, what would you say to her?
How old?
Let's say she's like 21.
Oh, 21. Just bang them all. Bang them all, because men are so immature that you're not gonna lock anyone down. Don't even start thinking yet about the husband stuff. But I will say, bang dudes quietly. Don't tell everybody. Shut the up about it. Just go do your business. Bang girls, bang guys, bang dogs, trans, whatever you want. But keep an eye out for the good ones in your college.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, keep the solid dudes in your back pocket. Like, befriend them, but don't them or date them or nothing until you're kind of like older and you're ready to like settle down with a boy.
Yeah.
And then call that guy up, like that one you had your eyes on. And I'll be like, what's up, dude?
This is why I don't have any hope that the dating scene will be getting better anytime soon. While men are getting the advice of go to the gym, wear a clean shirt, and pull up your bootstrap, this is what the advice women are getting. So how does any of the advice we're getting prevent you from getting this? It doesn't. It just makes you a marked target for later. And they even say it themselves. Now the advice itself isn't what's crazy here, as women have always been told this. Maybe not the rack up your body count part, but definitely not to tell anybody. That part is definitely nothing new. It's been going on forever. The real problem we're all having now is how unrestricted it is. And now most women at the very least have a double-digit body count, and we can't even guarantee anymore that's all from the same species. And because now it's a worldwide audience, you'll probably never know. That's what these past generations of men don't seem to understand. Because of the limitation of communication and travel, they had no way of doing what they're doing now without somebody finding out. We basically terraformed the earth again with the internet, and boomers still haven't caught up to that. That's why women now could put this age-old advice on steroids, because now with the ability to travel around the world, get your own money, who's gonna know? And to top it all off, the epidemic of simps willing to take anything. And that's why some choose not to hide it, or if it comes out, it's whatever. There's no consequences for it anymore. And until we get the lid back on this Pandora box we open, it's not gonna get any better, and why would it? There's no incentive to. And that's one of the big things I hope AI does. Brings back the incentives, or at least get women to be more persuasive with their illusions of purity, and not this unbridled debauchery we have now.
Gentle reminder that the men who did me the most dirty in my life were all leftists, intersectional feminists, people who love to work with women, people who surrounded themselves with women. Because gentle reminder that the men who did me the most dirty in my life were all leftists, intersectional feminists, people who love to work with women, people who surrounded themselves with women, because that was the staging so that if anything ever happened, which it did a lot with these people, if anything ever happened, they could run cover for each other and say, well, no, I only work with women. Well, no, my girlfriend, we have the best relationship. I would almost prefer the outright misogyny of right-wing men and the way that they handle women to the insidious nature of lecherous leftist men, because it's calculated. Right-wing men, I don't know if they're smart enough to be able to pull off the long con that leftist men do to get women, to abuse women. It is an impressive display of peacocking, of pretending to be a feminist only to do really heinous acts on the down low. And that is something that I have seen across entertainment industries. That is something that's super prevalent in politics. It's this idea, it's this smokescreen that's created that says, like, because I'm friends with women, because I respect women, it could never be me. So when allegations come out and you have all of these smart women who are friends with these people being like, oh my God, I'm genuinely shocked by this. That's all staging. That's all on purpose so that it feels too ridiculous to believe.
Everything this woman's saying about leftist men and their strategies is correct, but what she doesn't get is the why. They do it because they are weak men, and because they lack the traditional things women look for, like intelligence, muscle, height, and the biggest leftist speakers prove that point. Look at Destiny or Dean Withers. None of those guys will ever be an image what a man is, but because they're lacking those features, they have to do the only thing they can do, and that is be the nice guy, which involves being their best friend, adopting their beliefs, and parading it around so they can show that they aren't like those other guys. And that's why women like this get so so blindsided because they don't understand, broadly speaking, men just want all the same thing. And because they lack physical features or don't have enough confidence, they have to do this roundabout slow pimp way where if they are your best friend long enough or drink enough of the feminist Kool-Aid, it will earn them enough points for you to let them smash. But because that was never a thought in their head, you get videos like this where they're so surprised. Women just need to understand that men usually want the same thing, and if they can't get it through the direct methods, they'll use the indirect ones. And this strategy is nothing new, as there's a bunch of animal species that do the exact same thing. So this isn't a left or right issue, or right men wouldn't even be smart enough for this. It's a weak man play. They have to do it this way because the normal ways don't work for them. So by being that cuttlefish, they hope to worm their way in. And funny enough, all that stuff you're worried about happening usually happens from the guys on your side.
Would take another date. But the other offer on the table is all of the money in his wallet currently. It could be nothing. It's not nothing.
I save the money. I know where to find you, so.
That's
What,
fucked up.
what if you have to sign a restraining order if you take the money? So you're picking money.
Is that gonna hurt your feelings?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it.
You're never gonna find love,
It
man.
doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. Love is a sham.
Yeah, that the red pill might be onto something.
Everything we're very wrong, Charlie.
No, take backs. No.
Just fucking throw this up yesterday.
Oh my God.
We're on camera.
But a deal is a deal.
There you go. All right. So, are you happy with your choice? Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it. Love's not real. End the episode.
You'll never see me.
What this clip shows is that even if you have all the wealth and fame that this guy has, it doesn't actually make you more attractive to women, but more so tolerable. Because once you strip that away, they're going to get rejected like everybody else. For those who don't know, this is Charlie, otherwise known as Moist Critical, a very large YouTube Twitch guy that's been around for a very long time and a multimillionaire. And as you can see, even he's still getting rejected. All that money and fame can be a great help, but it's not like some I win all women now card you get to play now for the rest of your life. They're more so like stat boosts to the character of you. And if your baseline rolls are low, it can only help so much. And the problem with these things is that even though they are great stat boosts, they don't actually create genuine desire. And that's what this clip perfectly shows. And that once you strip that away, they'll use one of the common disqualifiers, in this case probably height, because they were never really that attracted to you. I'm not saying not to strive for these things for yourself, but doing to get women's attention and for them to like you is dumb. Because if they don't like you now, they're not going to like you when you're rich and famous. They just like the money and attention attached to the name, and you're more or less a living ATM to them that they can withdraw clout and money from, not someone they actually have a genuine desire for.
This is a video to the guy who flaked on me on our date. I just wanted to show you what I was gonna bring to you. Now you're ghosting me last minute. So weird. So childish. So, I'm Latina. I got you some tacos. Really good. From my favorite tacos place. I made you some homemade horchata. Agua horchata. Because you said you liked that, and I made it. And some Mexican corn muffins with honey butter. Handmade. You know, let me know why you ghosted me. That's crazy. I already crashed out, you guys, but yeah. You can only imagine how that shit feels. All you had to do is answer the phone. And I had everything planned out. Oh my god.
The reason why women hate ghosting in particular is because it removes their agency of choice. Now, no one really likes ghosting, so it's not like a gender-specific thing, but men are just far more accustomed to it, as they'll always be far more ignored or left unread, more than women ever will, and that's why they're prone to more emotional bursts when it happens, because they're not used to it. And on top of that, it only really happens to them from people they don't want to be ghosted from, and that's what we're seeing in this clip. This woman clearly liked the guy a lot more than he liked her, as demonstrated by her whole Cinco de Mayo party in her bag, and because this guy ghosted her, removing her choice of not not being able to cut it off herself or talk her way back into it through her words or body, you get crash outs like this. The combination of it not really happening to them, and then when it does happen, it only comes from the chads they're interested in, is why you get reactions like this, and why ghosting all of a sudden becomes bad, even though they've probably done more than their fair share of it. They know exactly why it's happening, as they've done it themselves plenty, and the women that cry about it are just mad that it's happening to them, and their agency of choice in that situation is being taken away, even though they're all fine with it when they're the ones doing it.
If I see one more glow up post divorce video, y'all couldn't do that for a man you love. Y'all love to lose a man and then look the way you should have looked during the relationship. Why do y'all get so comfortable physically and then y'all be like, he was so mean to me, he told you he was getting unattracted, you ignored him, but now he's monogamous with somebody he's unattracted to, and if he cheats and finds somebody who he's attracted to, he's going to be a terrible man. But if he breaks up with you because you look like that, he's a terrible man. You literally proving his goddamn point. You proving everybody's point. You proving all of our points. Put in the effort when you got us. Why do you lock us down? And then you make us tolerate that. Then you'll be talking about, oh, he was such a terrible man to me. You were horrible to him. Look what he had to wake up to every day. That! Pounding beers and shit? Now all of a sudden you a gym girl. Are you kidding me?
Everything this guy is saying is right, but what he doesn't seem to understand is the why, and the answer for that is really easy, and that is they just don't love you anymore, and the love for themselves quite literally outweighs the love they have for you. Now, we don't know the specifics of that situation, and I'm sure he's just not about to step on the Mr. Olympia stage either, but generally speaking, if they have such a big glow up after they break up with you, then they really just weren't that into you anymore. That's why they didn't do it beforehand, and this is why all these guys get confused or blindsided, and can't understand why she couldn't put down the fork and get on the treadmill before she broke up with you. It's because she already didn't love you that much at that point. They're under the assumption that this is all new, when she already could have been feeling like this for years. I've also seen women get big and stay big, so they remain unattractive to you, so you stop asking them for sex, and now that she has enough courage, aka you or her have built up enough resources, she's ready to pull that ripcord, shed off that husband repellent suit, and get smashed out by chads. And that's what guys like this need to understand. The reason why they never could lose the weight or do whatever is because they didn't love you that much anymore.
A little pre-abortion snack. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. I know having multiple abortions is normal. It's actually more normal to have more than one than it is just one. But I'm still fucking over it. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of getting pregnant. Why am I so fucking fertile? Give the babies to someone who wants them. Like, it's simple. Please, God, listen when I pray to you to stop sending me children that I don't want.
I think a lot of people need to take biology class again, especially women. It's not some grand mystery in how you got pregnant. First off, you're in your fertile years, so the chances of you getting pregnant are pretty high. So it's not like this thing of, I don't know why it keeps happening to me. You're doing the thing to cause the other thing. Pretty sure we figured that part out hundreds of centuries ago. And with all the modern information, contraceptives, if you get pregnant today, I kind of think you want it to. And even if you're too dumb to figure all that out, there are apps that will track your cycle and tell you what days of the month that you're likely to get pregnant. God isn't sending you children, your negligence is. But more to the point, it's sad to see how normalized this is for women, like they're going in for a dentist cleaning. I thought the idea behind it was supposed to be safe and rare, like it was an act she was forced into or her life was in danger, and not become like this quarterly or yearly dentist checkup. And this is exactly why we have such a population crisis, and why like 30% of Gen Z is just missing. It all comes from this apathy that women seem to have for their own children, and until we get a handle on it, or convince women to be more empathetic to their children, all the crying that Elon Musk, Tim Pool, Matt Walsh do about population decline won't mean anything, because men aren't the ones you have to convince to have children. It's women like this, who think it's normal to have multiple abortions, like it's some normal doctor checkup. Now the advice I would give all these ladies is just go get your tubes tied, then you never have to worry about it again. But what all these women always leave out is that they just don't want kids right now. That's why they don't do it. But by waiting until you're in your 30s, you're effectively already doing that, and you're just wasting all this time, money, on this Hail Mary pass you hope to catch in your 30s, when the majority are going to fumble it, and then cry about it, when almost every one of you had a time period where you can be be like this girl, getting touchdowns whenever they wanted. And as much as women try to make it normal, it never will be. It's always going to have a negative connotation to it, as it should. And all these celebratory videos women seem to do on it only show me that deep down they know they're doing something bad. And by connecting with something good like snacks or cakes or something else positive like parties, it's just them trying to mask the bad thing and make us look like we're in the wrong.
So I go back to work in 6 weeks after my maternity leave, and you're telling me that 6 weeks from now, I'm going to have to figure out how to get 2 of my kids ready, me and my husband ready, go to work the entire day, come home, take care of said 2 kids, have dinner on the table, make sure they're fed, do the whole bedtime routine, somehow manage to have some time with my husband, do some kind of self-care if I'm still alive, go to the gym, you know, work out or something, and go to sleep at a reasonable hour, and then wake up and do this all over again? Don't get me wrong, I'm extremely lucky because I have an amazing husband who does almost everything, but how do you guys do it? Are you more of a just spontaneous person and you're just like, whatever happens, happens, I'm just gonna go with the flow and pray that I have some kind of sleep at night? Or do you stick to like a nice rigid schedule so that you can fit everything in?
How we did it was through a system called patriarchy, where the man would go to work and the woman would take care of the household. This problem, not having enough time to take care of yourself, family, or your house, is entirely of our own construct. And even though today's women aren't the originators of that problem, they had no problem running with that baton when it got passed to them. There's a reason why we did it this way, because there really isn't enough time and energy to do it all, as we're all rediscovering now. And though it was far from some perfect system, it provided the best balance of everything. So we don't have situations like this, where you don't have time for anything. Just imagine if she put that 50 hours in her family and household. All the things she's complaining about wouldn't be a problem. And that's exactly why we did it this way. We divided up the work to what was best suited for what. It wasn't some mastermind plan being cooked up to oppress women. It's just a job that needs to be done. Otherwise you get this chaos. And now you can't do anything optimally. Now to answer a question, no one's really doing it. A lot of people aren't having kids nowadays, and her situation is a prime example why. There really isn't no time anymore. And if these women were really genuine in wanting to fix her situation, the best thing they can do is quit their job, or at least go down to part-time and become a full-time mom. Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done most of the time, but there's no amount of sleep cutting or rigid schedules that can overcome 50 hours of you not taking care of your family. And like I said at the start, we already had a system for all this. It was called patriarchy, where the men would take care of the women and the women would take care of the family. So we don't have whatever family structure we want to call this.
I've been engaged 5 times. Yes, these are all real. I do offer the rings back. They always say no every time. But I'm going to tell you 3 things that I do that makes me special. Side note, this is my favorite kind of ring, the tri. Beginning, middle, and end, if you must. Number 1, I don't really give a fuck. I just try not to give them my time of day. They want to see me, yeah, maybe. Maybe I have time for you, maybe I don't. I don't know. You know, just don't overly be like, yes, I can see you at the drop of a dime, don't worry. No, stress them out a little bit. They like it. 2, when we are together, I'm super fun, I'm super girly. Whenever they do something, you overly go, oh my god, babe, that's like the best thing ever. You're so strong, you're so smart, you're so great. You know, just overly like compliment and make them feel really good about themselves. For example, they fix your bike, you grab them by the face and you go, oh my god, babe, I didn't know you knew how to do that. I don't know how to do that. You're so smart. Mwah. And you give them a little kiss on their little forehead. And you just keep kissing them and go like, you're so awesome. Oh my god. Give them that big hug and put them in their masculine energy. You know, I look at these rings and I feel sadness because I truly do love all of them. And I will never talk anything negative about any of my exes ever.
As much as we always rail against social media, one of the best things it's ever done is waking up men to the reality of dating and using women as a source for it. We have so many women now telling you black and white what they think of you, and that yeah, most of the time they don't really care about you, and if they do, they might just be playing that part you want them to be. Now obviously this isn't everybody, but this sort of behavior is becoming more prevalent every day, and now that men aren't needed for a woman's day-to-day survival, there's enough women now just pulling back the curtain, telling you what they always thought. That's why I think even though social media has done a lot of damage, it's been great for men to understand relationship dynamics, especially after a breakup or divorce when they're at their most vulnerable looking for an answer, other than the normal response of, well, you should have picked better, when a lot of the time they're just dating women like this. Maybe not to this degree, but this comes in a whole lot of versions, and more importantly, it's not just the baddies who think like this, it's even the mids of mids who can collect more rings than Tom Brady.
Can we have a serious conversation about the LBHs, passport bros, like whatever you want to call them? I just don't understand how the most mid basic level men can leave America, travel to these other countries, and just pull absolute tens, like the hottest girls that you will ever see. And these men, like men that we wouldn't even look twice at, are just pulling them and convincing them to date them. Like, I truly don't understand it. Can someone please explain to me how this is happening and how these men are able to get away with it? Also, like, how can we stop this? It's out of control, and it's getting to a point where it needs to be stopped.
Sure, that's really easy to explain, as it's not something that's special that's happening. How these men are able to get away with it is because women want rich men, and because women like this live in rich countries and can make as much as men in most jobs, the rich men they need have to be in the 10%ers of either wealth or genetics. That's why it's really nothing special, because the exact same thing is happening there. These we'll call fives that you wouldn't consider here would be 7 or 8s over there, because even if they get paid like $60,000-$70,000 a year, over there it's equivalent getting paid hundreds of thousands. Women are just attracted to wealth in one form or another, and because these women live in such poor countries, they're willing to be with a guy that's not that attractive, because it's like their golden ticket. Strange that these women in these first world countries can't see that, because they're all doing the exact same thing. Those women are turning down their average men there too. I'm sure if Elon Musk wanted to impregnate her, she'd be jumping at the chance. These women are doing nothing different than what you'd be doing. The problem is you don't get that chance because those men are harder to find. Now, wanting to stop it, you're asking for the impossible, because this will always be something women want and need, and even if you give them rights and pay them as much as men, all it will do is just move the goalpost to what we have today with the women here. You never stop wanting what those women wanted. It's just that your standards have been propped up so high because of the country you're in. Now, what I think is actually going on here is that she's seen the guys that she didn't consider or kept on the back burner doing the passport thing and getting exactly what she wanted, and because they're in what appears to be a happy relationship while she is just getting passed around, she's seething in a bedroom about it because she doesn't think that these guys deserve it because they're not attractive or don't make enough money for her. But that's not how this works. It's about utilizing your assets, and these guys took what they had and moved it to a country where it would take them further, where you sat in yours and gave to anyone you thought was attractive, and now you're just mad that these guys are getting exactly what you wanted.